Now we've got some questions here from UEFA.com users, Pierluigi, and the first one is from Kimo Naitola, and he asks, Mr. Collina, he's very polite in the first place, have you ever felt intimidated after giving a decision for a goal or a red card?
No. Not easy to intimidate me. I'm joking, of course.
Second question is from Stephen Catchpole, and he asks, what's the most ridiculous excuse that a player has offered to stop you from booking him for a foul?
I would say that sometimes players are very creative in finding excuse. I think I will write a book sooner or later to mention some of these excuses, but some of them were very, very funny, I can say.
A question from a user in Ireland. He asks, what advice would you give to a young, aspiring referee who perhaps wants to replicate your success in refereeing? What's your advice?
I don't think that someone should have a goal to replicate what someone else did. I think everyone should be himself, but to achieve the top football as a referee could be something to be planned or dreamed, depending on the level. But certainly the only way to do it is to be ready to work hard, to be ready to make big sacrifices, because this is the only way to be successful, to achieve success.
From a user in Australia, you've refereed everywhere, you've refereed in all the great matches on earth, but is there still a stadium in the world that you would have liked to have refereed a game in, but you've never been?
Yeah, there are some. I have been very lucky because I've been in some wonderful and historical stadium. La Bombonera in Buenos Aires. I've never been there. I've seen matches played by Boca, and I think that the emotion at this stadium is very, very high. So probably this is the one who I dreamt to be as a referee in.
Moving to a question from a user in Grimsby in Lincolnshire in the east of England, and he says, hi Pierluigi, who was the biggest influence on you as a referee? Who was the role model that you had when you were younger?
I don't think you have to take someone else as a role model. I think you can take good things from many, not only from top referees, but also from someone who is younger than you. I remember that when I finished, or where I was close to finish my refereeing career, there were some young Italian referees just arrived in Serie A, and even we were coming from two different generations, because I was 43, 44 years old and they were probably 32, 33, so big difference. I always thought that I could learn something even from them. It's a matter of, I think it's a matter of mentality. You should be very open to change and see changes as opportunities and not as something to be afraid of.
A Manchester United supporter in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and he wants to know, what's the toughest game that you ever had to referee in your career?
As well as for many referees, when we officiated matches in low categories, in some part of the countries, I come from Italy, so in some regions, certainly the atmosphere was very tough. I've seen troubles 1 hour and a half before the kickoff, fortunately not related with me as a referee. The trouble was between the two teams, but certainly I thought if we start 1 hour and a half fighting, the match will be really a mess, really a hell. So Unfortunately for a referee, the risk when a referees a game in low competition, the risk is very high. It's very, very high.
Question here from Newcastle, the hotbed of football in England. What's the best goal that you have witnessed somebody score in a game that you were refereeing? Now, I'd like to see if I agree with you, and I'd like to see if we agree with the gentleman in Newcastle.
Live, I think the one who impressed me the most probably is Ronaldinho at Stamford Bridge. The match was Chelsea-Barcelona, and he scored in a very, very strange way, using the point of the foot, finding the corner of the goal from outside the penalty area, shooting when no one was expecting for this. So probably this is one of the best.
One final question from Copenhagen in Denmark. What do you think are the major challenges facing referees and refereeing over the next 5 years? Where do you think we'll be going?
Football is changing. Football is becoming faster. It's becoming also more difficult for the referees. So the challenge is to be adequate to this standard, to continue or to try to be at the same standard. Not easy, but the referee will do it.